हेलो भाइयों और उनके बहनों। आई होप आप सब सेफ है, खुश है। वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। तो आज हम बात करेंगे IRCSP 19 2001 एडिशन के बारे में। जैसे कि आप देख रहे हैं, ये IRC मैनुअल फॉर सर्वे इन्वेस्टिगेशन एंड प्रिपरेशन फॉर रोड प्रोजेक्ट, इसके बारे में बताएगा। बेसिकली जो प्रोजेक्ट रिपोर्ट्स थे उसके बारे में होगा ये। तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं। इंट्रोडक्शन में 1.1 में बताया गया है कि हाईवे प्रोजेक्ट में क्या क्या इन्वॉल्व होता है। तो चेन ऑफ एक्टिविटीज जो भी है, जो भी एक्टिविटीज लाइक एक्सकैवेशन है या जो भी कंस्ट्रक्शन के लिए होंगे उसके बारे में होगा। फील्ड सर्वेज, अलाइनमेंट सेटिंग्स एंड ऑल दैट थिंग्स। तो इंट्रोडक्शन में वैसे कुछ खास नहीं है देखने के लिए। 1.5 में आप देख सकते हैं कि ये इन्होंने मेंशन किया है कि IRC मैनुअल के बारे में कुछ इनके जो भी चेयरमैन से वगैरह सब आपको चाहिए तो आप 1.5 में पढ़ सकते हैं। सो हम डायरेक्टली बढ़ते हैं स्कोप की तरफ। स्कोप ये एक इम्पॉर्टेंट है, इसमें बताया है जो भी IRC मैनुअल SP19 है ये सिर्फ NH, SH और MDR के रूरल सेक्शन के लिए ही काम में आएगा। अगर आपको ODR या VR के लिए चाहिए तो आप IRC SP20 को रेफर कर सकते हैं। नाउ आई वुड लाइक टू शेयर एन इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग अबाउट द IRC that here as you can see IRC SP20 is written here, and similarly in the next slide you can see IRC SP54, IRC52. They have mentioned another reference IRC codes, because if someone is dealing with special conditions which are out of the scope of this current IRC, then they can definitely go through this IRCs mentioned as a reference and get details about it. In the next point, they have mentioned appendices 4, 5 and 6, which talks about the checklist for feasibility report and DPR. So now let's talk about point number 2.4. In this they have mentioned that whatever the order of procedure they have mentioned, so it is not compulsory that those will be followed in the practice. It always depends on the engineering in charge in the which manner or in which sequence the order should be followed. So now let's move to the point number 3, which I must say is one of the important point or the vital point in this IRC code. So definitely I will discuss this point in such a way that everything will be clear to you and you can definitely get all the points regarding to this. It includes the 3 points: pre-feasibility study, feasibility study and the detail engineering. We can say it is as a important part of this code. तो प्री फिजिबिलिटी स्टडी क्या होता है? तो जैसे हम कोई प्लान करते हैं कोई चीज़ करने का, तो व्हाट वी डू, व्हाट वी विल priorly analyze what are the outcomes of that study, what we will be gaining from that project. तो ये सब प्री फिजिबिलिटी स्टडी में होता है कि जैसे कि हमें इतनी इतनी कॉस्ट लगने वाली है ये रोड बिल्ड करने के लिए, तो वो कॉस्ट की अमाउंट जो हम टेंटेटिव सोचते हैं वो सब प्री फिजिबिलिटी स्टडी में आता है। तो ये इम्पोर्टेंट कब होगा? जब आपको कोई एक्सटर्नली फंड करेगा या फिर BOT प्रोजेक्ट यानी कि बिल्ड ऑपरेट एंड ट्रांसफर प्रोजेक्ट में इसका ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंस रहेगा। So moving on to next point, the feasibility study. In feasibility study, the proposal is acceptable in terms of soundness of engineering design. So इसमें ये proposal को थोड़ा इंजीनियरिंग तरीके से देखा जाएगा। प्री फिजिबिलिटी स्टडी में जो भी इंजीनियरिंग डिज़ाइन है, टेक्निकल एस्पेक्ट्स पे ज़्यादा ध्यान दिया जाएगा। और एट लास्ट आएगा कि आपका डिटेल जो भी DPR बनाएगा, डिटेल प्रोजेक्ट रिपोर्ट, तो ये आएगा आपके थर्ड पॉइंट में। जैसे आप मैंने यहाँ पे मेंशन किया है कि ये तीनों में स्टेप वाइज हम पढ़ेंगे ये। तो चलिए बढ़ते। ये एक फ्लो चार्ट रहेगा, ये एक समरी टाइप फ्लो चार्ट है जो स्टेजेस ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट प्रिपरेशन को शो कर रहा है। सो विल सी वन बाय वन। इन प्री फिजिबिलिटी स्टेज व्हाट कम्स अंडर दैट: reconnaissance and traffic estimation, preliminary design, approximate cost estimate, pre-feasibility report. तो ये प्री फिजिबिलिटी रिपोर्ट विल बी लाइक इंक्लूजन ऑफ ऑल दिस थ्री थिंग्स। तो हम 3.7 में इन्होंने लैंड एक्विजिशन दिया है जो कि यहाँ पे आएगा, लेकिन बट विल स्टडी द प्री फिजिबिलिटी स्टडी priorly to the feasibility study. We'll cover all these 3 points first and then we'll move on to land acquisition. So basically we'll jump to reconnaissance survey. Before that, how do you think how the road constructions are done? डायरेक्टली मशीनरीज, इक्विपमेंट्स, लेबर्स लेके साइट पे पहुंच गए और शुरू कर दिए काम, ऐसा तो नहीं होगा। अरे भाई, साइट कैसे फाइनलाइज करोगे? अगर लैंड ही नहीं है तो क्या हवा में बनाओगे रोड? इसी चीज के लिए तो ये रेकी सर्वे, जो भी रेकेनेसिस सर्वे है, इसका इस्तेमाल होता है टू हैव अ रफ आइडिया फ्रॉम वेयर द रोड शुड बी प्लान। Now let's move to the first point of the pre-feasibility study, which is the reconnaissance survey. So in 7.1, as you can see, the purpose is mentioned for this reconnaissance survey. So the main objective of reconnaissance survey is to examine the general character of the area for the purpose of determining the most feasible routes और for further more detailed investigations. तो हम कोई भी चीज़ करने से पहले उसके बारे में थोड़ी सी जो जानकारी प्राप्त करते हैं उसे हम कह सकते हैं कि एक रिकग्निशन सर्वे हुआ है उस चीज़ का। तो जो भी हम फर्दर मोर डिटेल इन्वेस्टिगेशंस करेंगे तो उससे पहले जो भी हमें स्मॉल चीज़ों की रिक्वायरमेंट होगी कि वेदर दिस थिंग शुड बी डन और नॉट, वो सब हम रिकग्निशन सर्वे में प्लान करते हैं। तो 7.1 में तो बस उतना ही दिया है। 7.2 में जो है सर्वे मेथड्स बताए हैं, जैसे कि एरियल रिकग्निशन सर्वे है, ग्राउंड रिकग्निशन सर्वे है, जो भी हम टोपोग्राफिकल शीट्स है वो शीट्स को एनालाइज करके भी रिकग्निशन सर्वे करते हैं। 7.3 में इन्होंने जो भी सर्वे शीट्स और मैप्स है उनके स्केल्स के बारे में मेंशन किया है कि जो भी स्टेट मैप्स है वो कितने स्केल का होना चाहिए, जो भी प्लास्टिक रिलीफ मैप्स है उसकी स्केल साइज क्या होनी चाहिए। So now we will move to the 7.3.2, which is an important point. So what does it say is like after the topographical features on the map, जो भी हम topographical features of the map, a number of alignments visible in a general way are selected keeping in the view of following points. मतलब ये भी जो भी points इन लोगों ने mention किए, ये points को ध्यान में रखते हुए हम जो भी possible solutions होंगे roads के लिए उसके बारे में हम as a possible solutions think करेंगे। तो जो भी शेप ऑफ अलाइनमेंट होगी जनरली हम स्ट्रेट रखने की कोशिश करते हैं। जो भी शॉर्टेस्ट डिस्टेंस है, जो भी इकोनॉमिकल होगा उसके बारे में, जो भी मार्शी लैंड से स्टीप टेरेन है उन्हें हम अवॉइड करने की कोशिश करते हैं। अगर ब्रिजिंग होगा, क्रॉस ड्रेनेज होगा तो उसके बारे में भी हम ध्यान में रखते हैं। जो भी विलेजेस टाउन्स है उसकी कनेक्टिविटी को बेहतर बनाने के लिए उस अलाइनमेंट का ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा इस्तेमाल होगा, ऐसा हम ध्यान में रखते हैं। 7.3.4 में इन लोगों ने फोटोग्रामेट्री टेक्नोलॉजी इज आल्सो यूजफुल टू द हाईवे इंजीनियरिंग ऐसा कुछ बताया है। आई डोंट थिंक दैट्स मच इम्पोर्टेंट। 7.3.5 में सैटेलाइट रिमोट सेंसिंग है। 7.4 में इन लोगों ने एरिया रिकग्निशंस का मेंशन किया है। सो एरियल रिकग्निशंस में हम एज अ बर्ड्स आई व्यू देखते हैं अलाइनमेंट इफ पॉसिबल। नाउअडेज दिस कैन बी डन बाय यूजिंग ड्रोन्स एंड ऑल दैट थिंग्स। 7.5 में इन लोगों ने ग्राउंड रिकग्निशंस का किया है जिसमें हम अल्टरनेटिव रूट जो भी होंगे उनके बारे में ध्यान से पढ़ेंगे। 7.6 में इन लोगों ने रिकग्निशंस रिपोर्ट के बारे में जिक्र किया है जिसमें हम जो भी हमने रिकग्निशन सर्वे किया है उसकी एक रिपोर्ट बनेगी जिसमें जो भी हमने रिलेवेंट इंफॉर्मेशन कलेक्ट की होंगी जो सर्वे के दौरान, तो वो आएगी जिसमें अल्टरनेटिव अलाइनमेंट्स का स्टडी वगैरह मेंशन किया होगा। नेक्स्ट मूव ऑन टू द 8th पॉइंट विच इज प्रिलिमिनरी सर्वे। In the pre-feasibility study only after the reconnaissance point, the next point is preliminary survey. Point 1, what is the purpose of preliminary survey? अगर हम ध्यान से देखेंगे, this is the village A and this is the village B. What is the use of preliminary survey मैं एक शॉर्ट में बता रहा हूँ। and they both have a river between them which separates them, so we want to have a bridge connect two villages. So what could be the probable location of the bridge? This one, whether this or this or this. So some might say okay this one because it's the shortest, some might say yeah this one. So these things have to be studied under the preliminary survey. इसमें क्या क्या ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा ध्यान में रखना पड़ता है कि एक तो रोड के अलाइनमेंट या फिर जो भी प्रोजेक्ट बनेगा तो उसके बीनीथ में जो भी स्टार्टा होगा उसकी क्वालिटी कैसी है, वेदर इट्स अ गुड स्टोन और नॉट. These things have to be studied in the preliminary survey, and out of various alignment, which alignment should be finalized. This thing comes under the preliminary survey. तो 8.2 में इन्होंने सर्वे प्रोसीजर का मेंशन किया है जिसमें सर्वे कैसे करेंगे प्रीलिमिनरी सर्वे उसके बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन दी है कि हम जो भी अल्टरनेटिव्स है उसके अलावा एक सर्वे करेंगे थ्रू आउट द अलाइनमेंट और फिर देखेंगे कि वेदर इट इज पॉसिबल थ्रू दैट अलाइनमेंट और वी शुड सेलेक्ट द अदर अल्टरनेटिव. Like as I have mentioned earlier, the IRC gives the recommendation for the special cases. So here also they have mentioned the IRC 52 for the alignment for the hilly roads. So 8.2.2 में they have mentioned the equipment that might be useful for doing the surveys. Like they have mentioned the EDM और GPS technology भी use कर सकते हैं. So they have mentioned the accuracy. I don't think these points are much important. We have a lot more to cover. 8.3 में इन्होंने मैप प्रिपरेशन के बारे में बताया है। जो भी हम प्रिलिमिनरी सर्वे करेंगे तो उसका जो भी फाइनलाइज मैप बनाएंगे तो उसके बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन दी है कि स्केल क्या होना चाहिए, वर्टिकल स्केल, हॉरिजॉन्टल स्केल, प्लेन अगर रोलिंग टेरेन होगा तो उसके लिए स्केल्स क्या होंगी। ये पर्टिकुलरली हिली के लिए है और ये प्लेन और रोलिंग टेरेन के लिए है। उसके बाद 8.3.3 इट्स नॉट दैट मच इम्पोर्टेंट। सो वी आर बैक ऑन दिस। हमने प्री फिजिबिलिटी स्टडी में रिकग्निशन सर्वे, प्रिलिमिनरी डिजाइन ये दोनों कवर किया है जस्ट। नाउ विल सी व्हाट इज द अप्रोक्सीमेट कॉस्ट एस्टिमेशन. So basically prior to planning of any project we must think that what would be the expected cost that would be required for the completion of project. So this can be done by analyzing the similar project nearby to our proposed site. For example अब अगर हम सोचेंगे कि 20 मीटर स्पैन का ब्रिज बनाना है तो सिमिलरली उसी एरिया के अराउंड 20 मीटर स्पैन का जो भी ब्रिज बनाया है तो उसके लिए जो भी कॉस्ट लगी वो कितनी थी, so that we can have a knowledge about the approximate cost that might our project require. So this comes under the third point, and at last the pre-feasibility reports includes the all the points whatever covered in all the first 3 points. So after the pre-feasibility study we'll move to the feasibility study. So these are the some points that comes under the feasibility study. So we'll see one by one. इन्होंने जो फर्स्ट पॉइंट मेंशन किया है फिजिबिलिटी स्टडी में वो है लैंड एक्विजिशन. तो लैंड एक्विजिशन एक बहुत बड़ी समस्या होती है जब भी हम रोड के बारे में बात करते हैं, क्योंकि हमें लैंड एक्वायर करने के लिए ही बहुत ज्यादा टाइम लगता है एंड विच इज द मेजर हिंड्रेंस दैट यूजुअली कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स फेस एंड द मेजर कॉज फॉर द project delays. So what comes under the land acquisition is the issuing notice and having the meetings with the landowner so that the all things get sorted out and our project will progress. So इसमें एक इम्पोर्टेंट बात यह है कि आपको मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ फॉरेस्ट एंड एनवायरनमेंट से क्लियरेंस लेना होता है अगर आपके अलाइनमेंट में कुछ ट्रीज वगैरह या फिर फॉरेस्ट लैंड आती है तो जो भी टेम्पररी और परमानेंट स्ट्रक्चर्स होते हैं उनको हम शिफ्ट कर सकते हैं या फिर डिमोलिश कर सकते हैं. नाउ लेट्स मूव टू द पॉइंट फोर्थ व्हिच टॉक्स अबाउट द रूट सिलेक्शन एंड अलाइनमेंट इंप्रूवमेंट. सो बेसिकली व्हाट इज द यूज ऑफ रूट सिलेक्शन? The main motto of this is to reduce the cost of transportation or the construction cost that is associated with the project. To achieve this objective, it will be necessary to make a detailed investigation of each alignment prior to its finalization. So here in the flowchart, you can see the several factors they have mentioned, certain like engineering factors, social, ecological, aesthetics that influences the route selection as well as the alignment improvement. This was about the point 4.1. 4.2 they have mentioned where the improvements of the roads are necessary or the where the improvement of road is to be taken consideration. For that they have mentioned several points: the plan and profile, side distance, CD works, carriageway shoulders, safety features. These all are the points where if deficiency is found then we must think about the road improvements, and if not then it will lead to the unnecessary expenditures that might the road require in the future. So just to avoid that we can say that it is the pre-planning or precautions that we need to take to avoid the future expenditure. So in the 4.3 they have mentioned about the bridges or the CD works. They have said that the bridge length or CD work locations are also important while the road alignment is being planned. And in the last point they have mentioned that the environmental impact of that road or whatever the project that is being proposed should also be taken into consideration. For example हम ऐसे directly जाके बोल नहीं सकते हाँ ये अच्छा पार्क है तो इसमें से रोड डाल दो, तो this should not happen. So these things 4.4 point says. Let's move to the fifth point. It's about the survey of socio-economical profile. Basically it doesn't relate to our project directly, but indirectly we must know what is the socio-economic profile of the surrounding areas through which the road is being proposed. So this fifth point just gives the idea about what information we must collect in terms of socio and economic from the surrounding area. For example अगर हम ये रोड बनाएंगे तो करंटली टूरिज्म की क्या पोजीशन है, टूरिज्म बढ़ेगा या नहीं, तो इससे फायदे होंगे या नहीं. This has to be planned, so this point has been mentioned in the code. So the next point is the sixth point, and I must say this is the very important point as far as our road design is considered. So this point talks about the traffic surveys and its analysis. So we will discuss in detail about this point. Moving with the first point 6.1, this point tells about the traffic surveys. What are the traffic surveys are to be done prior to the planning of road? What type of traffic we must count and how they are count. These all things is given under this section. The points discussed in 6.1 are mentioned below. In 6.2, they have mentioned regarding the traffic count. So they have said that the 7-day traffic count should be taken once or twice in a year, and they have also suggested that the guidelines from the IRC 9 traffic sensors on non-urban roads should be referred. When we discuss the IRC 9, we'll talk in detail about the average daily traffic and annual daily traffic. So now let's move to the point 6.3, which says about the origin and destination surveys. For example, if this is support a city and uh, we need to design a bypass for this. So just taking the population from this city is not sufficient for the design of this road. There may be surrounding cities like 1, 2 or 3. So the traffic from these all three cities should also be taken into consideration while planning this road. So that's why the origin and destination surveys are important for the design of road. Generally, OD survey is done for 3 days. The first day weekly market, second working day, and third will be the normal day. In section 6.3.3, they have mentioned the several methods for the OD survey, and those are also mentioned in IRC 102. Some of the methods that are used for the OD surveys are roadside interview method, license plate method, tag on car method. While studying the IRC 102, the traffic studies for planning bypass around the towns, we'll be having a more focus on these methods of the road survey. Generally, 15 to 20% of the traffic on a peak period and 25 to 30% of the traffic on the normal period. This percent of the traffic is to be surveyed as per this code. The 6.3.4 will be briefly covered when we will make a video on IRC 102 code. So now we will directly jump to the 6.4, which talks about speed and delay studies. So the moving observer method is used in speed and delay studies. Averagely, the 6 runs has to be taken for the certain vehicles, which is used for as a test vehicle for the run along the traffic stream. By counting the number of overtaking and overtaken vehicles, we usually find the speed and delays for the particular vehicle. Similarly, IRC 102 has the guidelines regarding these sections. Now let's move towards the next section 6.5, which talks about the traffic surveys for design of road junctions. So for the small junctions, manual counting on each arm of the intersections is to be done, and for the large junctions, the license plate method is used. For this particularly 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the evening, this is the time for which the survey needs to be done, and the survey is to be done at the peak hours for the traffic. And if the traffic at the minor arm of the intersection is less than 100 CVPD, then this survey is to be skipped. And the rest of the guidelines can be seen in the IRC SP 47, and we will go through it in detail while reviewing that particular IRC. Now let's move to the next section 6.6, which talks about the replacing the railway level crossings with the overbridges or subways. Actually, this came into picture due to the gate closure at the intersection of rails and the road. These things should be considered for the reduction of delays and increasing the speed of the traffic movements. In a week, 3 days consecutive 24 hours each day, traffic surveys has to be done at the crossings. And the main thing that should be remembered is angle of crossing of roads and the rail is mainly focused and is tried to kept perpendicular. Now let's move to the next section 6.7, which talks about the axial load survey. Basically, this axial load survey is done along the traffic volume count itself. It is very useful for the pavement design. While considering this survey, the past axial load spectrum, if possible, annual variation of commercial vehicles, vehicle damage factors, and predicting growth of the future traffic, these all four things to be considered for this survey. Now let's move to the next section, which is 6.7, which talks about the accident records. Basically, this is important to find out the accident prone locations so that we can improve the conditions and we can try to reduce the amount of accident rate for that particular stress where the number of accidents occurring are frequent. So the next section is 6.8, which talks about the traffic projections. So basically, for the major truck routes, the desirable and minimum forecast period are 20 and 10 years respectively. So This tells about the traffic count or the amount of traffic for which the roads needs to be designed. क्योंकि कैसा है, रोड की लाइफ ही अगर 10-15 साल है और हम प्रेजेंट ट्रैफिक के लिए डिजाइन करेंगे तो 15 साल बाद जो भी ट्रैफिक होगी उसके लिए रोड सुटेबल नहीं होगा. दैट्स व्हाई वी नीड टू कंसिडर the forecasted traffic for the road construction. And more details will be discussed by discussing the IRC 108, and generally the 7.5 growth rate is considered, and the rest of things are over. I think we have completed the reconnaissance survey at the pre-feasibility stage, so now we will directly jump back to the flow chart. So we have studied about the profile survey, traffic survey, preliminary topography. So we have skipped these two parts, limited soil survey and limited pavement design. So these studies we will be studying in the IRC 37 and 58 in details. So as you can see in the flow chart, the economic profile survey and the traffic survey combinedly gives out the traffic analysis and the projection, while the other things in the feasibility studies like preliminary topographic survey, limited soil survey and all those will help to find the project cost. And once the traffic projection and the project cost estimation is done, then we go for the economic analysis. In the economic analysis we will check whether the project will give the desired output to us or not, and we will make the feasibility report regarding it, and this feasibility report will be submitted for the administrative approval, and after that administrative approval we will proceed to make the detailed project report. In the detail engineering, the first one is the detailed topographical survey. So basically in this survey we analyze the topography of the site. That means if there any natural or man-made feature or a type of terrain, whether it is plain, hilly or contours of the land. So using this kind of information we do the final location survey. So in final location survey we basically finalize the location of the road or any particular project that we want to construct, and after the finalizing the location then we go for the detailed soil survey. So in detailed soil survey, using the geotechnical aspects we do the detailed investigation of the beneath strata so that we could easily find the strength of the soil. That is by using whether we can say a CBR test or any kind of test, we will find the strength of soil, and after that we'll go for the pavement design. And basically there are the different IRC codes for the pavement design. For example, 37 for the flexible and 58 for the rigid pavement. So when we'll talk about the IRC 37 or 58, then definitely we'll go for the detailed pavement design. And after the pavement design there are the detailed drainage studies. So what does this mean? So this includes the study about the any cross drainages or the bridges or any vented causeways, whatever the structures that are required for the easy passage of the water, so that the water will not cause any damage to our structure. So this all comes under the drainage studies. So definitely we will also take this in further videos. And at last but not the least is the environment management action plans. In this we deal with the environmental aspects. For example, the amount of energy required for the transportation of material or the fuel consumption, all those things will come. And nowadays this environment management action plan have gained so much importance, and therefore it is also very necessary, and detailed planning about this should be done. So when we'll complete all these steps in the detail engineering, with the help of all these steps we will make the DPR, detailed project reports, in which all the drawings, all the whatever the study we have done, all should be mentioned in this. And with the help of DPR only we'll go for the technical sanctions and the financial sanctions whatever. So these sanctions are must so that our project will come to the tendering stage. That means our project is technically approved and now the work of the project can be allotted to the contractor, and the construction or the execution part of the project will start. So I hope guys I have completed most of the things from this IRC SP19. If there are any queries you can comment in the comment section. I will definitely try to clear your doubts as much as possible from my side. Thank you, and stay tuned to the videos. I will upload the new IRC videos very soon.